The first thing you have to do in my mod is create the gun and create the glasses. You will need components to do this. Once you've created the glasses and the stasis gun, you can then go out into the world and use them. This is the multifunction mod. The gun does an awful lot of things, and the glasses are not just typical. Selecting the gun is the first thing you do, and then you will be able to use the gun as a digitizer. A digitizer actually shrinks and converts the person into a digital tape, or shrinks and converts the animal. Once you have the digital tape, you can take it and carry it with you. You can see it in your inventory. It will be labeled the same as it was when it was on the ground. If you drop it and then back up and shoot it, you will restore the animal that the digital tape was. The same holds true of people. You can digitize them. If you digitize this person, then go over and grab the tape, while the tape is in your inventory, you can do an amazing thing. You can look at the inventory in the digital tape of the digital person. You can also exchange between your inventory and theirs. It's kind of like an extra holding cell. Then dropping the tape again and shooting it should restore the person. To open up the gun's many features, you will need to shoot the toolbox. Once you've shot the toolbox, you will be able to use many menu features of this gun explained in a moment. The gun allows you to have access to a menu. This menu basically turns on different flags. You can make it so that the digitized subject brings up a menu when they're shot, so that you go over and click on them and get this menu. You can also make it so that you turn on duplication. When duplication mode is active, the subject is shot will create another subject of the same. Both subjects will look alike most of the time. This depends on whether or not they come from an actor base that's shared. If they're unique, they should come out the same. Duplicates are good to have. They can be useful for certain features. If you activate the bring up menu on subject and then go over to the subject, they will remain frozen. You will be able to click on them and bring up a main menu. From here, there's many features. The first of these features is the Actor Basics. Under Actor Basics, you will find a variety of tools: checking their inventory, releasing them awake or unconscious, making them protected or essential. You can heal them, you can kill them, you can give them a special weapon that you can't use. You can make them movable. You can change their size or even their looks and appearance. Under companion options, you can make them be your companion. Set them as being a companion if they're available. You can make them your ally, make them ignore your crimes, make them a team member, and there's a few other options. Different options will pop up. You can change their feelings about you, as well as disassociate them from other groups that they may have feelings with. There is also, under this menu, a settlement menu. If they're not a settler, you can make them one, or you can make them not one. You can make them your enemy. You can condemn them so that the settlement does not approve of them. You can change their traits, their personality. You can make them extremely brave or cowards. You can even drive them crazy. There are many choices that happen here and many things that you can do. Just briefly going over them. You can go down and leave them. This is your exit routine. You can leave them as a statue. Make it so they have to stay where they're at. You can make them okay, but they have this menu attached. You can digitize them right here, or tell them to stay with you. It's kind of like a follower who's not a follower. If you hold down on the left shift key of your controller, or press the home key, you'll bring up this menu. If you continue to press down on the left shift key, or press the page down key on the keyboard, you will get this menu. From this menu, you can control different things. Kill the actor, heal them, do different things with them. This menu can be used if you leave the menu attached to them. It can be used while they walk around. It comes in handy if you want to send an actor in somewhere and do something with them. This mod does have some bugs like other mods, one of which is if you shoot a target, you may freeze everyone that's in the given area. You can select each menu on them individually, and you can unfreeze them. When you're digitizing a subject, you may also hit two subjects, therefore digitizing them both. In this case, both tapes have the same name, even though they're individual subjects. You can still bring back the original subjects, it's just the tapes have the same name. In the case of you load a new game, sometimes this will happen. The label will be wrong. Now taking the tape and dropping it on the ground will make the name come back, and you can pick it up and put it back in your inventory. You'll see here's where I dropped the tape, and then if I pick it up, it ends up being the correct name in my inventory. This happens for some reason when the game is reloaded from a saved game. Now, in the menu system, if for some reason when you bring someone back they're not the right size, there is an option to resize them. We've all seen errors in various mods. For example, I don't know what mod caused this error, but I couldn't access Nora when I came out of the freezing chamber.
Why would Voltaire do this?
Now in my mod, building it, I've had quite a few strange things happen. I'm not saying they won't still happen, but just so you know, and you're aware that the mod is experimental and various unusual things can happen depending if you're using different options with different options, and somehow the system creates some kind of scenario where a very strange thing happens. In this case, I don't even know what caused this. I had frozen this girl, I had digitized this girl, I had doubled this girl, and all of a sudden she was moving in slow motion as compared to everyone else and me. And at first I thought that's odd, but then it got really odd when I realized that she could pass through any object. And she headed right for the graveyard, which is in this settlement that I had built. Which was strange. Strange indeed. Now in my mod, it's possible that when you digitize a person, that the tape can be under the dirt. You can still pick it up, but it's possible that you won't see it. You can also, by mistake, kill a person with this gun. The gun does do damage to the person you hit. That menu you're seeing is the death menu. This person has been murdered. And that can make other settlers very upset. In this case, the same scenario. I'm intending to digitize these two people. And apparently I injure them instead, therefore making all the settlers attack them. In my mod, I've mentioned the glasses, the different glasses. These glasses allow you to see many different things. I want you to discover them on your own. In this case, the green people, they kind of like are more friendly to you. The yellow people are settlers. The bluish animal in the background is just docile. The flickering person on the ground there is their life force flickering away. There's many aspects to these glasses. They can show you feelings of the actors as well as their intent. There is also the death menu, which I've mentioned. If you have it turned off in the options, nothing will happen when you shoot a dead person. But should you turn on the death menu by selecting death menu on from the menu, when you shoot a dead person, you'll get some options. Now, if the dead person is dismembered, you'll get different options. There is a reason for that. Bringing back a dismembered person normally is not recommended. Also, anyone raised from the dead may not act the same, be the same, may never function the same as they once did. You should bear that in mind. Now, the things you're going to keep in mind are shooting. The tool chest gives you access to these menus. When you're in these menus, you can choose how the gun works. Also, holding the X key will give you these menus, or holding the N key will give you these menus. This submenu, which you get on an actor who's in stasis, you can get from pressing the home key on the keyboard, or by pressing the left shift. Now, to get the menu that is about the actor's options, you have to hold the left shift or press the page down. Now, when you freeze a target, you can make use of that menu. There's different options on it. Now, in this case, I hold the left shift, go to the menu by hitting OK, and I drive this person insane. Driving someone insane is fun. Put on the glasses, notice that the person changes, and eventually, in this case, only they will kill you. But be warned, because the wrong person, you could lose a lot of innocent people. When I first started this mod, I had built my settlement first. I wanted to create a zoo, a place where I could keep all kinds of various people and creatures locked up. Yes, I'm an evil scientist at heart. And I got carried away and I built this massive settlement. I also made it so that the building limits were bigger, and etc., etc. But I had various cages and places to put people and creatures and things, and some of them wouldn't stay put. They found ways to escape. So this came in handy. Creating this mod allowed me to keep things where I wanted them. Now, you remember the beginning of the game. You come out of the cryo chamber and you go through the the learning thing, I want to point out that you should pick up these. These are not needed in my mod, but they are a part of my mod. If you get them and then you find the ammo to them, I think you'll find them as being pretty interesting. So whether or not you start a new game, exit 111, as we all have, waited for the vault to open, found our way heading towards that grand exit, or some of us may not have, we may have completed this already, and now we're going to go back. I would tell you, if you can go back, to go back and get those 2 weapons, because you will like them. There are many mods out there that allow you to go back. Just look for one. When you go back and you arrive, you'll just go get the weapons. Doesn't matter whether or not you were in Vault 111 when you started a new game or you went back. The weapons should be there. Those weapons are interesting because they have auto-targeting. They're the same weapon that you're able to give actors through my menu system, but you yourself can't find them. You liked my mod. I hope you enjoyed. Keep me in mind. Buy me a cup of coffee.